Welcome to today's video. It's going to be a little bit of a different one. Haven't done one of these in a minute. It feels like we're going to be opening my booster boxes from Temporal Forces and seeing what I get. It's kind of a little bonus video for a Wednesday here in place of a testing video, since we have gotten to the point where testing for Temporal Forces is now over with. This channel here, we always do stuff prior to release, so Temporal Forces for us is done. We'll start looking ahead to Twilight Masquerade here very soon. And in fact, we should be seeing our first Twilight Masquerade testing going live on Saturday, assuming all of the stars line up. I have 3 booster boxes here that we're going to be cracking open and seeing what we get out of them. I'm hoping that my pulls are better than they were at pre-release. I'm hoping for at least 1 copy of Prime Catcher. We shall see. With that said, we'll get started. I have 3 of these. Let's crack open. So each of these booster boxes, if you are not familiar, has 36 booster packs. So we'll be doing 3 times that in terms of pack opening. All right. I'm going to start out with the left side of this first box and see how it goes for us. If you're not familiar with my pack opening video, it's pretty laid back. Not too much going on, really. We'll just kind of pop these open and see what we get. All right, so we're going to start out with Ghastly, LGM, Sizzlipede, Meryl, being cute as always, Delmize, Electivire, Chinchino, that's very good to see. Okay, Metagross, Frostmoth. Have our first holo, which is an Iron Valiant. This is the calculation one, which is not the better of the two, but it is the holo, so it is what it is. Majestic Sword is not bad, though, so if you can find a way to get this powered up, I mean, it's not bad. Just that attack cost is a little awkward. If we were to play it in a deck with, like, Zatsu, maybe you can make it work. That would be pretty fun. Alright, Totodile, Deerling, Pidove, Pinko, Zeraora, Sharpedo, Metagross again, this time not reverse, Roserade, and Gouging Fire. First hit is a Gouging Fire. Alrighty. So Gouging Fire, I was not impressed with it when we played it as its own deck. I've seen some Charizard lists in Japan running it, and I think they're doing okay with it. Personally, I like Entei more, but I can see the appeal of Gouging Fire. That really did not want to go all the way in. All right. If you are interested in code cards from this opening, you can join my Discord channel, and you can join us for League at Home or the Justin Basil Online League. It's actually where most of these codes end up going. So if you happen to join us for League at Home or, again, Justin Basil Online League, you'll be able to jump in and get some codes for participating. And if you do well, so if you get first or second place, you actually get some prizing codes. Not a ton, but it's enough to make the extra tournament time worth it, and that is not a colorless Pokemon. Alrighty, so Metal, unfortunately, not very good there. That attack cost is a little on the high side. Alright, we have a Mawile. Turtonator kind of got shafted there. I actually don't really care for that art either. It's like a double whammy of not exciting. Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. One of the worst named cards I've seen in recent memory. Way too many words, or way too many syllables, I should say, for a card name, but it is what it is. Okay, we have a Chinchino. Rockruff, Litten. Whoop. A Shroomish wanted to hide behind a Litten to stay protected, I guess. Iron Hands, Morty's Conviction, Electivire, Hoot, and Iron Thorns is our regular holo from this pack. So I get a lot of questions when I'm sorting cards, when opening them. It's like, where did you get that tray? Where did you get it? So this is just an Ultra Pro sorting tray. I also have one from BCW, although it's obviously not on camera right now. It's like 20 bucks on Amazon. If you can find it at your local game store, I recommend doing that because your local game store will almost certainly have it for less. but it's worth every penny. Oh, hey, it's worth every penny. It's even at $20, honestly. It's not exactly like rigid plastic either. It's probably just vacuum form. But even with that in mind, it's just so nice to be able to have it organized and sorted and available like that. And it just makes it a lot easier to deal with pack openings and even when you're just deck building a lot, it's super helpful. So yeah. Shout out to Ultra Pro and to BCW for having amazing sorting tray products that are available for not that much. Okay, we have a full art walking weight EX. Awesome. I think I pulled one of these yesterday, actually. So yeah, a booster. What do you call them? The booster bundles from one of my friends yesterday. So if I'm not mistaken, I pulled one of those. Look at that. See if I can pull an A spec. Haven't pulled much of anything yet from this set in terms of most valuable cards. Ooh, that's nice looking. I don't like most of the reverse hollows, but I like the ancient and future energy, or ancient and future Pokemon. Their reverses, like they're the mirror holofoils that they used to do way back when. I think they just look nicer than the tacky, overly complex patterns they have now. Okay. Skitty goes right with the Ducketty. Perfect. Lexibuzz, Bramblin, Girafarig. Lycanroc, unfortunately, bulk. And Licky. Good song in the same pack, no less. Oh, hey, we have something here. Ooh, Iron Leaves, nice. Okay, so this is everybody's favorite tech against Charizard this set. Iron Leaves seems to be popping into Arceus Giratina primarily, although some Lost Box decks have also been running it. So not too shabby. Once again, this card does not want to go in a sleeve. It's a little frustrating. Okay, we have Noctowl with its Talonhunt attack. Licky. So, if you're interested in what's coming out in our upcoming Twilight Masquerade set, so that'll be the set after this set here, you can hit up my website, justinbasil.com, and see the visual set list, see the translations for what's already been revealed. Pretty interesting stuff. We also did on this very channel a kind of a review or a first impressions on the cards that were revealed from Crimson Haze. Crimson Haze was the first half of our Twilight Masquerade set, so definitely keep an eye out for that video too. Okay, Roselia, Jane. I think people are overly enthusiastic about that Drillbur. Just gonna say that right now. But maybe there'll be some really good use for it. Yeah, interestingly, I don't really like that Iron Valiant much either. Oh, hey! So if you've been paying attention to the carousel on the right side of the screen, you'll notice that I have a few cards, and it just popped up, in fact, that I really want to pull from this set, and this is actually one of them. So I'm very glad to see Deerling. One of my friends from my local league was generous enough to give me a Sawsbuck illustration rare that he pulled, and Deerling now accompanies that Sawsbuck, so that's really, really cool to see. Cool. The bad Grottle, unfortunately. The one from Million Stars is just objectively better. It's Devotion, Energy Bliss, Lycanroc again. It will be nice to kind of go through this bulk and see some ways I can make some beginner decks with them. So one of the things I like to do, if you are a parent, for example, that has some kids that would maybe in the future be learning the game, I have some deck lists for Battle Academy compatible decks. So they're meant to be approximately on the same level as the decks from the Battle Academy. So if you have the Battle Academy product, you can kind of build a gym leader deck or two to supplement that to make some more variety. I have deck lists for those. And so I like to look at the cards from the book like this and kind of put together some deck lists based on Pokemon that happen. That is not a fighting type Pokemon. Pokemon that the gym leaders have. So for example, if you are doing Misty, you might pull a Starmie into your deck and have fun with it that way. It's just kind of like the Pokemon that gym leader is associated with, whether they run it on their their World Championship teams in the Black 2 White 2 tournament, or if they have just have a Pokemon on their regular rematch teams, or if they're in the anime and they have really popular Pokemon there. Either way, it's nice to kind of throw those deck lists together and use those not only to help teach people how to play at my local league, but also to have people really enjoy them as they are playing with their kiddos with the Battle Academy. So, we have a Relicanth. Relicanth has that memory dive ability that kind of lets it tell all of your Pokemon, hey, by the way, remember those attacks you used to be able to use before you evolved? So far in our first half of this booster box, we've got 4 pulls. We have Iron Leaf EX, the regular rarity. We have Gouging Fire EX, also the regular rarity. We have the full art version of Walking Wake EX, and we have an illustration rare Deerling. We have yet to pull an A-Spec out of any of these packs thus far, but the average is 1 to 2 per booster box, or about 1 in 20 packs. So hopefully out of these 3 boxes, we'll pull like 4 or 5 of them at least. I am not optimistic because I feel like if there is a range for luck, I am toward the bottom end of it, typically. So it is what it is. I don't know if you just heard that. I don't know if the microphone caught that, but my cat has made a big stretch and yawn sound. It's always been a very enthusiastic kitty cat. Okay. So got some repeats here now. At this point, we are going to start seeing more and more of them as we kind of make our way through these packs. Even with this many cards in the set, it's not impossible to hit repeats. We do have a 5th pull here. This is Incineroar EX. Kind of pairs up with that Relicanth we saw earlier. There's a Litten from Silver Tempest that has the reprisal ability that lets it do a whole bunch of damage if there's damage on it. The problem is, Litten itself doesn't have all that much HP, but this Incineroar does. If it can get access to reprisal, then it does big damage. We have 2 packs left for this half of the box. At this point, we have 5 pulls, including the illustration rare. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff out of this. Thus far, we have not hit a spec. No spec so far. Melmetal, Pidove, an Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant. This is the Calculation Iron Valiant. So there are 2 Iron Valiants in this set, the babies. One has Calculation, that one's a holo, and then the other one is a uncommon. Actually, hey, look, right there. 2 different Iron Valiants. All right, last pack from this half of the box. Let's see how we do. All right, Gullets. Gullet says hello. Snow, Mudbray, Reuniquus. Miss Energy, always good to have. You're gonna want to place it. Hey, we have an ace spec. It's like the one I needed least, but we have an ace spec. Okay, so we have Master Ball. Master Ball is an ace spec item card. It is reprinted actually. I have the older ace spec Master Ball. This is the ace spec. Literally just gives you the option of searching your deck for a card, any card, or any Pokemon rather specifically, any Pokemon card. You reveal it and put it transfers. It's kind of like Master Ball, but you don't need to discard to use it. So pretty powerful effect. Not gonna see a ton of play except maybe in Lugia, mostly just because most decks just have more interesting A-Spec option that they are reliant upon. All right, so we're going to jump to the second half. Let's review the first half's pulls here. The first half of that booster box. We got Iron Leaves, Incineroar, Gouging Fire, Master Ball, Walking Wake, and Deerling. So I think the biggest pull here is actually going to be that Master Ball. So statistically, this may very well be the only A-Spec we get in this box. I am very much hoping for a Prime Catcher, because I don't feel like forking over 20 bucks for a Prime Catcher, especially after you just forked over a bunch of money for these boxes. So, yay. This is a time where I need to reiterate something I always say on these videos, especially because my luck is so crap. Just buy singles. Don't do what I do. I do this for content and just to crack open packs for fun. But ultimately, if you are looking to build a deck, if you are looking to have some fun Pokemon cards, there is like a 99% chance that you're going to do significantly better by just buying the cards you wanted in the first place. Opening packs is a great money sink, but it is fun. Just don't rely on it to get the cards you need. How's that? Maybe open a pack now and then, but don't leave it to fate. Just buy the cards you want. So, Pikachu, Scyther. Unfortunately, that Scyther is not as good as the Scyther we had in 151, so that's not going to be the one you're going to be playing, because it's just not as good. Ghastly, Rapidash. Another Koraidon. This is 2 now I have. I'm working on putting together my proxy-free version of the Ancient Box deck we played on stream this last Saturday. So if you watched that stream, that was quite a fun one. Ancient Box went against the World, which is our way of saying the existing meta. So it had to go against Lugia, which is a force to be reckoned with in the post-rotation format. And it also had to go against Charizard, so it did not have it easy. Its opponents were quite well-seasoned meta veterans. And you have to watch that video to see how it did, because I think you'll have some fun with it. Solosis and Bronzong reverses and a Whimsicott Hollow. Whimsicott with the wafting heel. So basically, when you play it down onto one of your Cottonee to evolve for the turn, you can pick one of your... Actually, it's not picking. It's specifically healing all of the damage from your active grass. So you don't actually get to pick which Pokemon. It has to be your active grass. If it's not an active Pokemon, or if it's not a grass Pokemon, then no dice. Interesting way to try to make that card not broken. It's like they're trying to make the max potion available to us without making it available to us. Sizzlipede, Meryl. Max potion probably is bordering on A-Spec worthy, frankly. It's really strong. Oh, nice. Okay. We have a double hitter here. You guys can see this. This is Gouging Fire and a Fluttermane. Fluttermane seems, for some people at least, to be kind of hard to pull. But not for me. I've gotten a few. So Fluttermane has that Midnight Fluttering ability, which shuts off the abilities of any Pokemon in your opponent's active spot, which is quite a little menacing thing to do. And it has the attack Hex Hurl, which does 90 damage and puts 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. You put 2 damage counters on them in any way you like. If you need to set up a couple knockouts, or if you need to just dump a couple damage on something to help get it weaker, then you've got it. That is super cool to see. Gouging Fire. So if I need to play Gouging Fire in a deck, I think I know which print I'm going to be playing. It's going to be this one, because it's pretty. Certainly compared to the original art. Okay. Totodile comes out to play. I love this art for Totodile. Deerling, Pidove, Pineco, and then Ribombee. I am so disappointed. I know they weren't going to use my business translation for business wages, but plentiful pollen is just not remotely as interesting. Oh, hey. Okay, we got another double whammy, and this is another card I was hoping to pull. This is the Shiftry. This is done by the same artist that did the really awesome illustration artwork for the special illustration rare version of Zorak V-Star from Crown Zenith. Oh, hey, look, it popped up. Convenient. That's the second time it's happened. But yeah, this card is super freaking nice looking. The art on these is just astounding. The hollow, you can't, I know the camera's not going to pick it up, but like the hollow is just especially good on this too. Love the shiftery. That's really cool. I guess the second half so far has been pretty nice. 2 illustration rares, including one that was on my must-get list. That's pretty cool. Oh, looks like I need to switch packages of Perfect Fits here. Down to my last one. Very stubborn Perfect Fit here. Did not quite want to open up. All right, new package of Perfect Fits. And we are reloaded. We're good to go with the next pack. All right, so we have new Perfect Fits. So if you're curious which Perfect Fits I'm using, I've always used these KMC Perfect Fits. You can get them on Amazon, fairly cheap. They're pretty good, typically. All right, we have Meltan Nuzleaf. Pretty appropriate considering how recently I pulled that Shiftry. Boxed order, a really unfortunate trainer card. Finizen and Maridon. Maridon could be very good, I think, in a future box deck. I know there is it's like a Turbo Iron Hands, effectively, that's going around right now that runs a couple of those usually, 2 or 3. So there's that. So if you feel like loading up on Iron Hands for, as of the recording of this video, they're going for about $20 each. Have fun. One of the more expensive cards for base rarity in the standard format at the moment. Actually, among the most expensive base rarity cards, but that's what it is. Wiglet Latias. And we have a Torterra, another pull. Torterra, unfortunately, not an especially good deck, but it is a fun deck if you can get it to set up. The Baby Torterra from Brilliant Stars is kind of just a better deck on its own. It's less restricting as a deck. And this one, it requires you to only have grass Pokemon in play to do optimal damage, which really does limit you in terms of how you're going to set up. So, of course, the other Torterra limits you to doing damage based on the number of evolved Pokemon in play. So that's kind of also a weird restriction for it. But I think that one tends to be a little less problematic than this Torterra does. This Torterra is just, it's not very good, unfortunately. An Iron Valiant, a Breloom. Ooh, hey. We have a Full Art Explorer's Guidance. This has actually been a pretty good box so far. Full Art Explorer's Guidance. This is not the illustration area that you see right now, which is probably my most wanted version, my most wanted special illustration rare supporter card. That's mostly because when I played Scarlet and Violet, or specifically Violet, because that's when I played, she completely trounced me. I need to have a way to remember her completely kicking my butt. And I would love to have that be the illustration rare. All right, Beldum, Mawile, Shaman, Fortress, Vagabond, Meryl, and Macargo. I wish this Macargo were good. Pardon me. He's just not. There's Macargo GX. Macargo EX coming out in the next set that's kind of interesting. Especially for the Eternal format, where it has access to 2 different smooth over Macargos, which could be very, very good. Yeah. I think this Macargos might actually be a viable deck in Eternal. I think we need to explore that. We have not yet. And Jimmer is broken. Can't wait to see people's hands torn apart by that in standard format. And we have another Roaring Moon. Another Roaring Moon for the Ancient Box deck that I'm working on building. Can we pull another ace back? I'm very much hoping we will. Great toast. This is a good one, too. I think Mill's not in a bad spot right now. I know some people are a little down on Mill. Ooh, Frigoraph. So Frigoraph EX has the Dirty Beam attack, which makes everyone very happy that it actually got translated as Dirty Beam. And then there's the Armor Tail ability, which makes it immune to the attacks of basic Pokemon EX. This is kind of your Ancient and Future Box counter. Probably more effective against Future Box. Ancient, unfortunately, I don't think really cares about the multi-prizers in its arsenal. Cares much more about the single prizers. Which is part of the reason it's a little more intriguing to me. But we'll see how that goes. Will either of them see success? We shall see. Roselia. Cutie Fly. Check out this. Full Metal Lab, kind of just a bad stadium card, unfortunately. Sableye. Oh, and I just realized I put the Frigoraph in here. And then we have Feraligatr. Feraligatr, one of everybody's favorites for the starters, or first partner Pokemon as they're officially named. Just a big old alligator. Personally, my favorite from that generation is Meganium, but grass types in general tend to be my favorites for whatever generation it's part of. There are, of course, exceptions, like do not care for the Gen 6 starter. Is that oh, I've drawn a blank on its name. It will come to me. Yeah, not very fond of Chestnut or its evolution line. Just not so good. Just funny because Gen 6 is one of my favorite generations. And yeah, don't care for but one of its starters. That helps. I love Greninja. I think everybody at least likes Greninja. And don't care for the Delphox line. I think Fennekin is cute enough. One of those starter syndrome things where they look really cute, but they're not always great fully evolved. We're looking at you like every fire type starter ever. We have an Iron Crown I just pulled there. Iron Crown EX, pretty good pull. Or I'm gonna put down here for some reason. Okay. So I guess it's just a Beetle. It is a nice pull to pull, but it's not supposed to be done in those pull piles. A little bit of a bump on the table there. All right. We have Carkol, the Bad Grottle, Finizen, a sneaky Bronzor, Zeraora getting a bulk card. Love Zeraora getting bulk cards. You can always tell which Pokemon the Pokemon Company in Japan really likes creatures specifically because they always print lots and lots of them. And then even Pokemon that aren't especially popular over here, they'll like get tons of cards. And you're just like, why is this card getting, or why is this Pokemon getting so many cards? And we're all just kind of scratching our heads, but it's because somebody at Creatures really loves that Pokemon. I just need to go to Creatures and need to make lots of awesome cards. All right, Connie, Carvana, Ekans, Turtwig. I love Turtwig's art. Turtwig's art is really cool. Another Ground Collapse, Great Tusk, Bronzong. Well, it's an ace spec. Kind of a triple hit pack with a Fluttermane. It is an ace spec though. Neo Upper Energy is an ace spec. It has the effect of giving your Stage 2 Pokemon 2 Rainbow Energy when it's attached. It's not attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon, it's just a single colorless energy. Unfortunately, Neo Upper Energy is about the only energy that really isn't seeing any success in Japan in tournaments. We did use it in a couple of our lists for post-rotation, for some of the fun decks that are just kind of worth having a laugh with. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to see tons of success in general, just because the card is kind of rough. And for the most part, the ace specs are just better with the other ace specs. You can only have one ace spec in your deck, so if you put Neo Upper Energy in your deck, you can't have Prime Catcher, which is a bummer. I don't think Neo Upper Energy really warranted being an ace spec because of the limitation of stage 2s. And we got, I think this is our the Flare Main's still chilling in there. I think this is our first Dunsparce, actually. I like Dunsparce because I like imagining its name is actually Dunsparce, but you know, classical music jokes, I make them. All right, last pack for this booster box, and then we're going to switch to box 2. Well, we will, of course, review what we pulled from this first booster box to see how we did. All right, Puchina. Charbok. C-Dot. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Iron Treads. Buddy Buddy Poffin. A Yamper. This is one of those Pokemon that they seem to love. Rabska and Koraidon is our last holo from that booster box. As soon as I get it sleeved up, we'll go ahead and jump into the recap. My cats are currently play fighting. This could be fun. Go there. All right, so we have actually a decent number of pulls for this box. Let's see here. You can see the pulls. They are sleeved, of course. That makes it padded out a little bit, but we will look at the actual number. So we got 2 ace specs from this box: Neo Upper Energy and Master Ball. Master Ball, a perfectly playable ace spec, but I do already have one of the older ones, so not the biggest pull for me. Neo Upper Energy, I mean, it's an ace spec. And then we have, for the base rarities, we have Iron Leaves, we have Incineroar, we have Gouging Fire, we have, is that all those base rarities? Nope. We have Torterra and Iron Crown. So that's 2 and 5 so far for our pulls. And then for full art and up for regular EXs, we do have two more. We have Walking Wake and Gouging Fire. And then for our full art supporter card, we have Explorer's Guidance. And we have 3 illustration rares, including Minccino, Shiftry, and Deerling. So two of the 3 illustration rare, or two of the 3 illustration rares I pulled from this box were ones that I was very much looking forward to pulling. So that is very happy. But all in all, that's not too bad. That's 6 pulls for this, plus 5 there. That's 11. 13 pulls from box. That is very respectable. I'm gonna pause the recording real quick, and we'll come right back when I have cracked or peeled off the wrapping for the second box. And through the magic of editing, we are back. All right. Time to see what we can get out of box 2. This is box 1. We'll see what we can do with box 2. Scyther, Skitty, Rescue Board. I feel like that's, we think we got a reverse earlier, but I think that's the first regular one. And Trimmer, Palafin, Unpheasant. Pulling an Unpheasant is unpleasant. How's that? I would rather it be an ace spec. Drop in Frostmoth, Noctowl, Buddy Buddy Poffin, always good to pull. I'm gonna see tons of play. Box order, Victini, Relicanth, and a Koraidon EX. Cool. We have Koraidon EX. A little bit of a bump there. So Koraidon is our first pull from this box. We have base rarity here. As the attack, Retribution Strike for 20 plus damage. Attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And Kaiser Tackle does 280 and then does 60 damage to itself. That's for fire and double fighting. So that is our first pull out of that box. Okay. Like the Buzz. Bramblin, Girafarig, also beautiful art for that card. Rabska. Fortress wanting to come out early to play, but Full Metal Lab. Full Metal Lab trying to catch it. Here's Lickitung. Very interesting art here. Going for a quick taste of one of the desserts on the table. All right, we're gonna see you. One of the things I've really appreciated about the Scarlet and Violet era is how they've made it so that uh, the rare, the rare rarity, it sounds silly, but the rarity that is rare is actually hollow now. For the longest time, they would take like non-hollows and such from Japan, and they would just kind of make them rares. And they'd take an uncommon and be like, okay, this is a rare now, but they wouldn't make it hollow. It didn't look nearly as good. Interestingly, they would also kind of do this sometimes the other way around. Like in Japan, Cynthia was a hollow rare, but for whatever reason, they made it an uncommon here. But I think they kind of forgot to change how often it appeared in the boxes because it did not appear that often. You were looking at maybe 2 in a booster box. Not super great. She, especially considering how useful of a card she was super rare. So it was actually most price efficient to get the theme deck from that set, Ultra Prism. You'd pay like 10, $12 for it, and then you get 2 Cynthias in it. Whereas that's about the same you would get for spending over $100 on a booster box. So you can kind of see the trade-off there just was not worth getting the booster boxes for if you needed a Cynthia. Just go for the theme deck actually. And interestingly enough, Cynthia, like you think, oh well, Cynthia just buy the single, whatever, no big deal. So back then, singles were generally a lot more expensive. Cynthia would run about $8 per. People complain about Ino being about $1, $1.50. That's great. Cynthia was a lot more expensive, and that was kind of just true of all of the good cards in the Sun and Moon era. Lele, the longest time was in the $30 to $40 range. I think got up into the 80s at one point. It's just kind of expensive. Even Guzma, like that era's equivalent of boss orders were a little bit different. Same effect as Prime Catcher, but as a supporter card. That one was $8 a piece too, and just kind of rough to try to get hold of enough of them for your deck. You spend $32 on a playset of Guzman. A lot of decks did need that full playset. It's kind of rough. Chetot. Carvana. Like volts. Another land collapse. Great Tusk. That means we're well on our way to building the mill deck. And we have a dun sparse. So this is our second one overall. Pretty nice to see. Okay. So again, if you're interested in starting to watch some of our coverage for Twilight Masquerade, barring any complications, it should be starting this Saturday. My live stream day has changed to Saturdays from Fridays. I recently got a new job. I am now a teacher. I'm teaching 10th grade English. And because of that, my schedule has also shifted a little bit and made it a little bit difficult to stream on Fridays. So Saturday is the new streaming day. That Woe Trio didn't even react to it because it's so underwhelming. It's just bad. Didn't even try to test it for the set. It was just awful. just even in the deck creation phase, it's just like, nope, this isn't gonna work. Can already smell it being a stinker. All right, we have our third regular EX pull from this box. This is Walking Wake EX. It has an ability that basically gives it a built-in shred for any attack that it uses, so could be useful for decks that need water type attackers. Try a different one there. All right, next pack. We're almost halfway through the first half of this box. And the Feraligatr coming out to say hi once again. Feraligatr was everybody's least favorite card to pull for the pre-release. Not because it's a bad card, but just because it's not super good in pre-release. And in our current standard format, it's probably a little too slow to be super competitive, but it's not a bad deck overall. It's okay. It's certainly a fun deck if you actually can get it to work. Oh, hey. Well, our daddy. This is Salvatore. This is the effect of allowing you to evolve up one of your Pokemon on the same turn it was played, even if it was set up during during setup. So that's pretty cool. Really nice art, actually. I do prefer this art over the illustration rare. Not really fond of how noisy the illustration rare is. So that's cool. Do this. Okay. Let's keep going. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pulls. 5 pulls so far in this half of the booster box. Hopefully this is not a loaded side and the other side be all barren, but that's a possibility. Dunsparce, Snom, Mudbray, Minccino, Vikavolt, Great-Tusk. I think that's my fourth one, so I want a regular Salvatore. And Mudsdale, and Brambleghast. Okay. So we have a Hollow Brambleghast and our first, well, not our first, our second illustration rare from this box, the Mudsdale. Mudsdale was one of the Pokemon I used on my team in Pokemon Ultra Moon. So nice to see. Hi, Iroh. He's being very vocal. This is kind of cool to see him on a card. I do wish he were a little bit more centered and big on the card, but he's got a special card, so can't complain too much. Okay, let's keep digging. I'll see if we can find some more of those A-Specs. Digging, cracking through packs, trying to open A-Specs. Metagross, Roserade, Keldeo. Hey, asking you shall receive. All right, we got a maximum belt there and a Koraidon. Not a bad pack, actually. All right, so we have the Koraidon, which is definitely not the star of this pack. We're gonna go put it up first real quick. So maximum belt is an A-Spec. Like other A-Specs, you can only have one of any A-Spec in your deck. So if you have a maximum belt, you can't have a prime catcher. If you have Neo Upper Energy, you cannot have maximum belt. It is a very good card also. This allows you to do 50 extra damage to your opponent's Pokemon EX if they are in the active spot. So pretty good card to pull here. I'm super glad. This is definitely one of the most playable A-Specs in the set. So actually pulling one is a wonderful thing to happen. Very, very glad for that one. All right, we have 5 packs left for this half. Not doing too shabby so far. Pulling that maximum belt makes this already feel a lot better. Although Full Art Salvatore is also pretty good. Stickatung, Bronzong, Excadrill. So many Pokemon in so little time, it feels like. And we have yet another Whimsicott with that wafting heal. They really, really like Whimsicott. I like Whimsicott too, but it seems like they like Whimsicott even more than I do. Also, I would just like to state for the record, and I've said this before, especially when we were opening this first Scarlet and Violet base set, but I am so glad that the holo now extends the border for holo cards. It just looks so much better. That was a change that was way overdue to be copied from Japan. I'm super glad they finally copied it. All right, Hoot Hoot. All the silver borders also are major change. Also very worth it, very welcome. I know that was a little bit more of a controversial change than the hollow borders, but frankly, I don't care. I love that change. To me, they just look a lot better with the silver. That's been especially true of cards like Mudsdale, for example, where they are supposed to have the silver border in Japan. I know prior to Scarlet and Violet era, a lot of these illustration rare cards look kind of awful because they were designed with the silver borders in mind, but then when they came out internationally, they had yellow borders. It just didn't look very good. Great way to ruin what should be a very amazing card. Grandpa Cutie Fly and another Iron Leaves. That's our second Iron Leaves. We have an Iron Leaves now for this box too. It's one Iron Leaves per box so far. And we're going to keep opening packs. We have 2 more for this half box. So first half of the box has not been that bad. I'm not happy with it, actually. Hopefully we get a second ace spec, maybe a prime catcher. Again, it's not guaranteed. Your results may vary. I know I've heard people getting as many as 3 ace specs in a box. Do I expect to get that many? No, I do not. But could it happen? Yes, in theory, it could. And we have a hollow Drampa. Last pack magic. Shall we have last pack magic for this half of this box? Electabuzz. Yeah, I love that art for Girafarig. Girafarig. Roserade, Caldeo. Explorer's Guidance, one of those cards needed for the Ancient Box archetype. And unfortunately, no. It is a Maridon, not another ace spec. But no worries, we have another half the box to go. This is the second booster box that we are on right now. So, second booster box, nice and empty. I've pulled the packs out to the side here so I can crack them open in order. We have another 18 to go from this half, or from this booster box. So each half of these booster boxes is 18 packs, 36 total in a booster box. I ordered mine from Forge and Fire Gaming, so if you happen to be looking for a vendor that is going to not screw you over, I highly recommend them. They are not sponsoring me. I would love it if they would, but they are not sponsoring me. So, and a Melmetal. Boo. Okay. Hammer in for 120 damage is going to require 3 energy. And to do okay damage, you have to add 2 more. I'm sorry, Melmetal, but you suck. I was talking earlier about Pokemon that they seem to love too much at creatures. That is absolutely one of them. Nobody cares about Melmetal, and yet they print it to oblivion. Relicanth, once again, concluding our pack here. Okay. Bronzor, Ghastly. 10. Unique list. Explorer's Guidance. Coley. Cottony. And unfortunately, Macargo. Sad day. I wish Macargo were better. They could just reprint Smooth over again. I'd be okay with that. It'd be really crazy right now with Curly in format. Although they did just reprint Mallow as Cypher Maniac's code breaking as the official name. So maybe. Okay, Chatouts. Carvana. Chinchino. I think that's all the ones I needed now. Between the stuff I got from my pre-release packs and this, I'm pretty sure it's all 4 of them now. Gengar. Okay. So we have a Gengar EX. This is an unfortunately bad card for Gengar. But Gengar is a popular Pokemon. It's among the fans, not just among somebody at Creatures. Or among the people at Creatures, so Gengar did get a card. What's up, big kitty? Dunsparce coming out to play. Snow wants a snack, and Scyther just trying to slice and dice. And the Dunsparce. This is our third Dunsparce. I'm almost all the way to a playset. That is good. There is a tweet that Limitless put out about all the cards you want to make sure you have from this set. I may have to link it in the description here. But they suggested you have a full playset of Dunsparce. I think that's fair. Dunsparce has seen some niche but successful play in Japan, so having a playset on hand, especially when it's just a hollow rare and probably not worth all that much anyway, seems like a good idea. So spend the $1 for your playset of Dunsparce and just have it on hand so that when it inevitably sees a ton of play and price spikes or whatever craziness there happens to be, you won't be caught unawares. And Koraidon is our last hollow there. Meltan sneaking into the color slot, and my cat deciding he needs to stretch his nails as loudly as possible at the same time. So we did find a full art Raging Bolt EX. I know this one's like $10 to $20 as of recording. The regular rarity is like $2, I think. It's not exactly anything to write home about, but it is a fun card. Definitely a fun deck. And a lot of people are down on it. Andrew Mahone especially was really down on it as having probably not been an especially competitive or competitively viable deck. But hopefully this is kind of a Roaring Moon situation where, you know, people don't see any value in it right away, and then somebody figures it out, and we get some craziness. Although to be fair, normally Japan figures stuff out first, and then we take a moment to catch on to whatever they figured out. And yeah, I don't know if that's going to be happening this time around. Get a Drampa. Milton come back to play, this time going straight into the metal pile because it's where he belongs. Next energy. Should now have a playset of those. Oh, hey! Not only did we get a Miraidon, which is pretty nifty, we also got the Music Note Chatot, rather. If I'm not mistaken, that is like the notes for the Pokemon Center theme, or at least part of it. I know there was a Twitter thread on it for a little while that was talking about how cool that was. Man, I love Whimsicott. I feel like I've gotten tons of Whimsicott in this set already. Not just in these boxes either, but in my pre-release kits too. Like if I'd had like an Iron Leaves during pre-release, oh, give me an Iron Leaves, give me a, I don't know. There's no HP boosting for features, but like, yeah, just let me Whimsicott all that damage away. That'd have been broken. And we have a Miraidon EX. Miraidon EX is a future EX Pokemon with Repulsion Bolt. Repulsion Bolt does 60 times, so 60 times 60 plus damage. Hard to tell with the lighting here. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 100 more damage. So if you've done any damage with your Iron Valiant EX, for example, you can do 160 for 2 damage, or 2 energy, which is pretty good. I have a judge coming to visit here. Her name is Toph. Hopefully she doesn't make too much of an appearance. Maybe she's stepping on all the order. Gotta love cats. They are perfectly weird. They also love attention. Going to Toph. Okay. Hoot Hoot, Beldum, Heatmore, Really Cooley, Lycanroc, Delcatty, Future Booster Energy Capsule. Ooh, I see something in there. Turtonator, Sawsbuck, and a full art for Rigorath. Rigorath has come out to say hi, and he is in his full headgear for this particular full art. Hi, Toph. Could you not mess with the microphone? Thank you. She is anxiously rubbing her face on all the things. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Leslie, Bronzor, and Relicanth is the hollow for this pack, unfortunately. I have easily a playset of these guys by now, so I can use abilities back to the Stone Age, I think, or attacks of evolved Pokemon all the way back to the Stone Age at this point. I think some of these Pokemon are, with this many Relicanth in play, I'll practically be able to use the ancient Paradox Pokemon's attacks for the Pokemon they're supposed to be. Yamper, Grub, and Medicham. Iron Hands, Heavy Baton, Mist Energy. Hey, there we go. There's the guy I wanted to see. Okay. All right, Feraligatr, I know we are supposed to appreciate you, but your face has been seen many a time, and Prime Catchers has not. Prime Catcher is the ace spec to get in this set. Prime Catcher, of course, lets you switch your opponent's active Pokemon, or one of your opponent's bench Pokemon into the active spot, and you switch one of your Pokemon into the active spot in exchange. So it is, like I was mentioning earlier, the effect of Guzma. This card is super strong, and with effects like that of Irida and Arven that can find item Pokemon or item cards, it just gives you another way to make sure you have access to a gusting effect. So very, 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 very glad to see Prime Catcher. Absolutely a great card to be pulling out of this set. Oh, how many of these desired pulls are left on that carousel? Let's see. I have not pulled that area yet. We just pulled that Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher, good stuff to pull. Wait until that next one pops up and see what it is. A Shifter we pulled in the first box, so that's pretty cool to see. The the Deerling rather, we also pulled in that first box. We're doing pretty well so far, it looks like, with our pulls. We pulled that Minchino. We didn't highlight it earlier, but we did indeed pull that Minchino. I want the Chinchino too, but we've pulled the Minchino. There's that Cinchino. Bianca's Devotion. We haven't pulled, unfortunately, we haven't pulled the illustration rare for Bianca's Devotion. We have 3 packs left in this, and there's that illustration rare Airy. All right, so we're not doing too shabby. We just gotta get lucky with these illustration rares here, the special illustration rares in particular. Hopefully we can get the Airy, but the pull rates based on TCG players data, not so hot. Unfortunately, Victini, we're not a fighting type Pokemon as much as you'd like to be. Dash. And there's our full playset now of Dun 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 Sparse. Nice. 2 packs left in this box. Drillbur coming out to play, saying hello to everybody. Bonita. Chat out, the regular chat out this time, not the the regular illustration rare. Airy, nice card, but not the special illustration rare that I would like to pull. Melmetal coming out, being a menace as per usual. And our last pack for this booster box. Shall we see if we get another good hit? This booster box is kind of just insane. Between the Maximum Belt and the Prime Catcher, like, it's pretty good. Can't complain too much about even just that. Ghastly. Denizen, Bolton, Mudsdale, Cypher Maniacs, Sizzlipede, and an Iron Boulder. First Iron Boulder I've got now. Iron Boulder, of course, a future Pokemon here with the Repulsor Axe Attack. Maybe not one of the most playable cards from the set, but it is technically a pull. So we'll recap this real quick before we move to the next box. All right. Okay, so let's start out with the A-Specs in this box. This box was significantly better than the previous one. Previous one just had the Master Ball and the new Upper Energy. Master Ball, of course, is a playable A-Spec, but I already have a Master Ball from an older set, so I didn't need that one as much. But we do have Prime Catcher and Maximum Belt out of this one, so literally the most important of the two most important A-Specs. I think the only one I really kind of need to grab on. The only other one I really need to grab onto is Hero's Cape, but these two are super good. We'll pull a Hero's Cape out of that last booster box. And then we got an Iron Bundle, a Miraidon, an Iron Leaves, and a Koraidon, and a Walking Wake. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular pulls, plus the Bug Trio, 6 regular pulls, 1, 2, 3 illustration rares, a full art supporter, and 2 full art Pokemon EX. So not at all a shabby box. So far, we've gotten a decent number of pulls from these booster boxes. Nothing too awful. The pull rates at our pre-release events locally were a little underwhelming, but I'm starting to think that may have just been coincidence because these booster boxes have actually been pretty good. I'm going to crack into this last booster box. I'm going to pause real quick so we can get it open, and I'll be right back. And once again, through the magic of editing, we are back. We have the second half, the first half, rather, of the third booster box. So this is from our first and second booster boxes here. We're going to dive in a little deeper. Go through this last booster box. All of you. We have some fun here. Cracking this open. All right, we have an Electabuzz and a Koraidon. This is the second Koraidon I pulled today. Not really a common pull, or not really a common card in Ancient Box, but it exists. It is a pull. And we have a Wiglet, a Meltan, Seedot, Totodile, Shiftry, Bianca's Devotion. That's the base rarity, not the special illustration rare we're hoping to pull, but it is a Bianca's Devotion. A reverse hollow version of Drampa, and a full art Morty's Conviction. Very nice to see. Full art Morty's Conviction. There we go. Very, very nice. Here, let's get a little closer look at it. Yep. was just thinking, even getting the regular full art version of Aerie would be kind of cool. Just because, like I said earlier, she completely gave me such a hard time. She walloped me in Scarlet, or in Violet rather. So it'd be very fun to have her card to kind of remind me of how much she kicked my butt. Turns out when you build teams the way I do, your Pokemon are all weak to fighting types, and well, yeah, that's that for that fight. Like all my favorite Pokemon for that game were just weak to fighting. That's the short of it. Right. Deerling, Pidove, go, Mawile, Lycanroc. Mawile was actually kind of a menace during pre-releases. People really did not like it. And Flittermane. So I definitely have my full play set of Flittermane. Good to go for those. I did not go in the way. There we go. All right, and Shino comes back out to play. Lycanroc goes, I guess it's the little baby with Rockruff, Shermish, Miss Energy. Pretty sure I know how a full play set of those. Cypher Maniacs, Rockruff, Cutiefly, and a Bramblegast. Bramblegast, boo. Why couldn't you have been, I don't know, a pull? Bramblegast. Possibly going to be a menace in GLC if you play that format. So keep that in mind. Oh, okay. I will confess I did not expect that, and I am very happy for it either way. That is now my second Prime Catcher. This is one of the cards I am super, super happy to pull a second one of. Okay, Prime Catcher. We already talked about this one earlier. This is Guzma as an item. Easily the best A-Spec out of this set, and one of the best A-Specs in general. Right up there with Computer Search. Just that extremely strong effect. Pretty pricey card at the moment, too. Super glad to pull this, actually. That is cool. Again, was not expecting a hit in that pack, let alone a Prime Catcher, so that's cool. Okay. This box is off to a good start, too. There's 3 hits so far, one of which is Prime Catcher, another is a full art supporter. I think that's pretty nifty. The real trick question is, will the other A-Spec in this box also be a maximum belt, or will we get the cape? Or will there just not be another A-Spec? Have I already used up all of my luck? The answer, we will know shortly. Azumarill, Yamper, Andy Shocks, Reuniqueless, Mist Energy. Pardon me. Luckily Shiftry. Oh, Scissor. Nice. So Scissor was one of those decks that I thought was really fun when we were testing it. Not the most competitive, no, but still really fun to play. So definitely glad to pull this. We'll probably pick up a full play set of them, whatever I'm missing from it. Probably another 3, going by how my pulls have been so far. I can't imagine they're going to be that expensive. Like I said, they're not super playable, but they're fun. That'd be a little fun budget deck for something on like TCGL, where you're not really worried about being overly competitive. Dun Sparse. We're starting our second play set of Dun Sparse now. Should we look to the future where Dun Sparse is everywhere because perhaps Barrel has rotated or something? very much a possibility. It's actually very interesting. So we're about to hit rotation this next week. Is it this next week? No, 2 weeks from now. Almost 2. Well, by the time this goes live, it'll be just over a week. But yeah, so we will lose not much of anything in terms of draw for this particular rotation, but next rotation could be pretty devastating because for next rotation we would lose Bibarel, we would lose Curlia, Litten. Okay, all right, so we got a Litten here. That is really cool. Love me some cats. There's that Litten. Just chilling in the bookshelves. I will state for the record that is absolutely what a cat would do, except while they were doing it, they would be knocking stuff on the floor. Oh, it's a couple Litten. It's a few Litten. I didn't even realize it's actually several Litten in the bookshelf. But that's exactly what they would do. They would get up in the bookcase and spend some time just knocking everything they can to the floor because why not? They're cats. That's how they roll. All right, Roselia, Cutify, Drillbur, Rellor, Colossal. Colossal is one of those Pokemon that is forever going to be a disappointment because Colossal VMAX was supposed to finally end Picarom's reign of terror and did nothing of the sort. So forever it will be associated with failure. Somewhat ironically, Colossal VMAX actually ended up being a good matchup for Picarom. Ugh. Like, apparently just hitting for weakness is not enough in this game. Who knew? Raichu, Victini, Bronzor, Mudbray. It's amazing how decks will adapt, and Picarom was absolutely one of the most menacing ones in terms of adapting. Picarom and Mew both, actually. They both kind of just took cards that were supposed to counter them or whatever random things they could stick in and just ran with it to counter the decks that were supposed to counter them. It's amazing. Thankfully, Mew is going. Mew is gone. Can't fathom them doing yet another deck that broken, but we'll see. Lugia was really stupid for a while too, but thankfully most of the problem cards in its deck rotated right after. Well, it was the set after they came out, which unfortunately, because of the long format we get at the end of the year, made it feel like forever. Like 5 months for the same format, like literally half the year. But it is what it is. We have about half left of this side. Ghastly. Venison, Dunsparce, Snow, Mudsdale, Explorer's Guidance, Colossal, Gullets, Mr. Mime. And we have now our third Gouging Fire, if we include the illustration rare we got earlier. The illustration rare, of course, is definitely the king daddy of all these Gouging Fires. But all the same, we now have a third Gouging Fire. Ekans, Turtwig, Puchina, Wiglets. Ooh, hi. Iron Treads being like, I'm trying to hide my shame for being such a crap card. now that I've made fun of the card, though, it's gonna pop up in some winning list. I can hardly wait. All right, Bramblegast. This I've still got room. All right. I was using this when using this tray. You always have to kind of keep an eye on the capacity of each of these slots because if you run over, they start to slide into the next one up. Sizzlipede, Perilous Jungle, Airy, Delmise, and everybody's least loved mythical Pokemon rather, Metal. Like I may have loved the Sun and Moon era, but Melmetal sucked. All right. Dial, Deerling, Future Booster Energy Capsule, Tang. Okay. Well, now I have a full playset of them. Now that I have a full art also now of Gouging Fire. So a full art, 2 regular runs, and now and the special illustration rare. So full art, special illustration rare, and 2 regular Gouging Fire. Gouging Fire really wants me to do something with him. Gouging Fire was also the only deck we did testing with that I went, yeah, we're not going to bother continuing with that one after one recording. So usually decks when we're doing testing get 2 spots at least, and I just was not impressed with Gouging Fire. But like I said earlier, it's probably best as a tech in something like Charizard, where it's not as reliant on its own setup means and can rely a little bit more on something robust like Charizard. But then again, is it just going to make Charizard worse or better? That's the question mark. Once again, with Whimsicott taking the spot away from that pack. But that is the last of that half of the box. So we're going to recap this half real fast. I have a few cards here to observe. I can't remember one way or the other if this Raging Bolt was part of this box or not. From memory. And then we have Gouging Fire, Scissor, Chloridon, Litten, Morty's Conviction, and a second Prime Catcher. Yay. So glad to have 2 of these. If I pull a third one, I am not going to be upset about it. The card is so good. Like, it's to the point where Dex and Eternal and Dex and Standard both want it. So I'm going to need so many of them. The fewer I have to buy, the better. All right, we are now on the second half of our final box. Pineco, Mawile, Meditate. Okay, I have had a massive stinker there. Let's fix that. There we go. Sandy Shocks, Hand Trimmer. This has been fairly rare. I think it's only like the second or third one I've seen in all these boxes. It's kind of surprising. And a full art bug trio. Okay, I for sure pulled one of these yesterday because I know I pulled it because I was like, it's just giving me the middle finger. So I was really hoping for a good card, and I got this instead. And so because of the light bulb, it makes it look rude. So yeah. All right, Minchino and Rockruff, Litten, not the fancy Litten, but just a regular Litten. Lots of box orders, so that's going to be interesting for a format where you only can use bad cards. And another Fluttermane. So I definitely have a full playset of Fluttermane at this point, if not 2 by this point. I feel like the rumors of Fluttermane being hard to pull are a little over exaggerated. I am fine. Okay. Ooh, hi. A little bit of a slip there. All right, we have a Turtonator that's coming to say hello here. Turtonator and Hoot Hoot, Beldum, and a Brailium that doesn't want to show its face. A Fortress, Full Metal Lab that's trying to hang out behind the Fortress. Golurk, Tranquil, Myena, and a Scovillain. This guy just did not want to come out at a reasonable time. I think it should have been part of the Scarlet and Violet mini set we just had here, but we didn't get it there, so oh well. I'm gonna change the sleeve on this one. This one's a little on the tight side. I'm gonna be right back. All right, and we're back. Yeah, that sleeve was just weirdly tight for some reason, so we got rid of that sleeve. All right, so Scovillain's been pulled now in the second half. So far we've seen Wug Trio and Scovillain in this half of the booster box. Lickitung, Charjabug, Slugma, Solosis, Hands, Rescue Board, Sandy Shocks, Sizzlipede, Screamtail, and a Roaring Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon just doing Roaring Moon things. Okay. Likuli, Heatmore coming back out to play. Yamper and Torcat. Shaman, a favorite of one of my testing partners. Shout out to Caleb. We're loving that Shaman. Insisted that we put it into our Torterra deck, and it did help. I mean, for what it's worth, it didn't fix the deck, but it did help it. Skitty, Electabuzz, Bramblin, Girafarig, Handtrimmer, Rabsca, Fortress, Behemoth. And we have a double whammy here. We have the Dunsparce, which we were working on a second playset of, and this Cutie Fly, which, as you can guess, is adorably cute. Not coming through super great in the picture here, but it is a very adorable card. We also have this Dunsparce to put away. All right. Okay, Grubbin, Frostmoth. Grubbin, Frostmoth, and Noctowl are all seem very common. I guess they're probably uncommon or common cards that I'm seeing a lot, but it feels like they're more common than other things. Feraligatr coming into play now. Oop, I just dropped it. Okay, there's Feraligatr. In a pack with Crocodile, no less. That's pretty cool. Trying to make them a little bit more like Japanese packs where you can actually get the evolution line in them. That'd be nifty. Speaking of which, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just pull in a reprint of some sort for the Prevo for Scoville and EX. For whatever reason, like if you pulled it in your build-in battle kits for your pre-release, you couldn't play it even though you pulled the Scoville in because there weren't any caps kits in the set, so there was no legal way for you to play with the Scoville and EX in pre-release. Licky. Tang Karkle. Look, we haven't seen that many Karkle, but it's okay. It's a middle stage. We're not going to see that many of them anyway. Dash. And a Koraidon. I have enough Koraidon and Miraidon that I could easily make versions of the decks for both Eternal and for Standard. Ponyta, Chatot, Cottony, Carvana, Cybermaniacs, Vikavolt. Vikavolt is an uncommon, which is very interesting. When we were testing that, we did not know what the... Ooh! No! Why did it have to be the bad one? Okay. Alright, I guess my luck ran out a little bit there. I mean, I got another A-Spec, but it's yet another Neo Upper Energy. That is up my alley for luck. Is getting that instead of a good one. But it is what it is. Alright, Neo Upper Energy is the A-Spec I've already gotten one of. And unlike Prime Catcher, where I'm super happy to get another one, kind of annoyed the second one for Neo Upper Energy. It is an A-Spec, so there's that much, but it's also not an especially good A-Spec, so there's that. It's just a little niche. How's that? We are almost out of sleeves for this package of perfect fits. So we'll go get one more pack, maybe two more, depending on the number of hits. And we'll crack open another one. All right. Finn is in Bronzor, Myana, Duosion, Iron Valiant, Torpedo, Metagross, Fortress, Seedot, and Iron Thorns. And Thorn's going to take the first of these two remaining sleeves. Let's see what card's going to take that last one, shall we? We have Ekans, Turtwig, Uchenna. Ooh, grass might be full. Grass is full. All right, we're going to shift dark down so grass can actually exist. There. All right, Salvatore, Bronzong rather, Excadrill, Wiglets, Finizen, and a Raging Bolt EX. First regular rarity Raging Bolt I've pulled. And it's my understanding that one of my friends has pulled now 5 of these cards. Various rarities. It's wild. All right, so I'm going to crack open another pack of Perfect Fits, and I'll be right back. And we're back. All right, we have about half of this booster box, about half of the box, so roughly a quarter box left of this booster box to crack open before we go through the full list of stuff that we pulled out of this box, which was actually not, or these boxes rather, which overall were not too bad actually. Roserade, Keldeo, Iron Jugulus, Iron Valiant, in Reverse Hollow, Latias in Reverse Hollow, and Drampa. Everybody's favorite old grandpa. Drampa just being an old guy. The Pokedex entries for Drampa are kind of hilarious. Talking about how it like burned down the houses of bullies for kids. Like, oh, okay, that's rough. Arbok, Seedot, Totodile, Deerling, Screamtail, Zeraora, and Valiant, Deerling. See something? William? Nope, Miraidon. I was thinking maybe, but no. We have some Miraidon now. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of that grass stack and put it behind the remaining Perfect Fit sleeves here, so we have kind of a sensible place to put the dark or the grass stuff. Here we go. All right. All right, Sizzlipede, Meryl, Gollets, Dunsparce, Delmise, Electivire, Chinchino. I for sure have my playset of those now. That is nice to know. Meryl, and unfortunately, Melmetal has come back to haunt me. All right, we have 3 packs left in this booster box. 1, 2, and 3. We'll see how we do in these last few packs. Pidove, Pineco, Mawile, Metatite, Sharpedo, Metagross, Roserade, Elgium, Centiskorch, and a full art version of Scizor EX. Nice. The full arts in Scarlet and Violet and even in Sword and Shield were just much better than full arts from Sun and Moon Era. I appreciate that, but I am still of the opinion I prefer the regular arts over full arts. Maybe I'm just weird, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the full arts. How's that? All right, we have 2 packs left. Let's see how we do. All right, Snow, Mudbray, Minchino, Rockruff, Sableye, Great Tusk, the not good one, Morty's Conviction, Sableye again, Haunter. Iron Crown EX. Okay, Iron Crown. This is our second one of these, which is nice to see. Still need a couple more of them, but hey, that's something. And then last pack. Will we have any last pack magic, or we pull another Melmetal? Vamos a ver. Okay, we got Turtonator, Hoot Hoot, Beldum, Breloom, Keldeo, Andregulus, Dhelmise, Devotion, Bolton, and it's Relicanth that's haunting us, not the Melmetal. Had to go back into the past and haunt us that way. All right, we are real quickly. We're gonna go ahead and recap on everything we pulled from these 3 boxes. It's actually not a low amount. It's pretty good. So well, let's see. I will sort it out and I will be right back. Okay, we're all sorted now. So we're going to go through what we pulled from the 3 booster boxes. Got Torterra, Scovillain, Iron Leaves, and Iron Leaves for the grass types. For the base rarity EXs here. Got Incineroar, a couple of Gouging Fire for fire types. Not too bad. And Walking Wake was my only water. Bug Trio was my only lightning. 2 of the Iron Crown that I need, so 2 more are going to have to be ordered. Got a Iron Boulder. Got a Scissor. Got a couple of Koraidon. And I got a Miraidon. Also got a single copy of Raging Bolt. I'm going to need 3 more of those guys. And for my full art Pokemon, I got a copy each of Gouging Fire and Walking Wake. And I got a copy each of Wug Trio and Farigiraf. And a copy each of Scissor and Raging Bolt. And then we have, for the illustration rares, is where we really kind of hit it out of the park. We got our Shiftry, which was nice. The Deerling, which was also nice. The Litten being cute as always. The Cutie Fly. Mudsdale. Lickitung. Chatot. Minchino. And now we're going to start our A-Spec era. We have Master Ball to start us off. Maximum Belt. 2 copies of Neo Upper Energy. 2 copies of Prime Catcher. And then finally, for all the rest of our pulls, we got a full art version, full art versions each of Explorer's Guidance, Morty's Conviction, and Salvatore. And then our final pull for these boxes was the special illustration rare version of Gouging Fire EX. So really cool. Didn't quite get all of the cards I was hoping to get, but that never happens, frankly. It's just not statistically it's not statistically likely. Unfortunately, it's just how things are. So with that all said, everyone, thank you all for watching. I will see you in my next video.